It's Brian King again, coming at you with another video. I just wanted to have a quick discussion on a topic that I kind of been thinking about. A lot of adults my age played some type of sport growing up. I be it football, basketball, baseball, soccer, anything sport related when they were younger. A lot of us started in little league and worked our way up through high school, even some college. Um, if you're like me, it pretty much stopped in high school. Well, after high school, um, you know, we all live lives and decide to have children. There's, as men and some women, there's something in us that we feel that our children would need to play sports also. Um, I am in that majority as well. Um, my son is has played baseball the past couple of years and has expressed interest to continue to play. But what about that percentage of kids that don't necessarily want to play sports, but as parents, our egos won't allow them not to play a sport. We want them to continue what we didn't finish. Well, I have breaking news. Fellow parents, it's over for you. It's done. Stop it. Every kid doesn't want to play a sport. Every kid cannot play a sport. If your kid after about 3 years has not developed the acumen to catch a football, that is not his sport. If your kid has not developed the acumen to catch a baseball or a softball, that is not their sport. And basketball, you got it. If they can't understand the basic fundamentals of basketball, that's not their sport. It is not fair on us as adults that we keep forcing our children in this round hole with a square peg. Maybe sports just isn't their thing. We have got to stop trying to live out our athletic ambitions through our children. It causes problems as they get older because then they're going to feel like they have to live up to whatever standard that is set for them by us as parents. And then there's that whole thing of them not wanting to disappoint us because they suck. We need to just let kids be kids, man. It's just that simple. If they come to you as a parent and say, "I want to play this, and I want to be the best at it," at that point, then you want to push that kid as hard as they can possibly go. I've been in enough little league ball fields to see overbearing parents basically berate their children in front of the other kids because they would miss a play or didn't do something they feel like they should have done. Um, Typically, that causes a lot of anxiety as a child. That's just not the right way to handle that. Um, and furthermore, a lot of the parents are out there wanting to outdo the other children's parents that are out there for what? Bragging rights? Since when did little leaguers start handing out contracts? This just doesn't happen. So it's almost like you teach a kid at that age the basic fundamentals of the sport. You want to teach them sportsmanship. You want to teach them camaraderie. You want to teach them leadership at that age. You're not trying to create the next Bo Jackson. because typically kids have start having other interests, um, upper middle school, early high school, and as parents, we need to help foster those other interests as well. You know, I'm the biggest sports fan, just like anybody else. But if my son or daughter came to me and said, "I no longer want to play sports," I would feel no type of way about it. I'm not gonna say, "Well, why don't you just stay there? Maybe it'll give." I'm not gonna do that, and neither should you. Parents, we gotta stop living our lives through our children, especially on with dealing with sports. Sports isn't for everybody. Everybody isn't going to make it athletically. The odds are completely stacked against them. You know, and us as parents, we're spending gobs of money for training, and the kid may not even have his heart halfway in it. There's been too many pro examples of this. I can't think of them right now, but I'm sure someone will be able to help me out with that. But whenever there's a kid that's heart is not in the sport, but is athletically gifted, that can only get them so far. You know, if they're not mentally into it, you can forget it. They're never gonna live up to whatever expectation has been set for them. I say again, we have to stop living our athletic dreams through our children. It is potentially damaging what we're doing to these kids. I I recall a situation where there was a kid, um, and to be honest with you, he didn't look like he needed to be on a baseball field. He needed to be in a science room, um, building tornadoes through funnel clouds. Um, you know, the kid he did try. He gave it his all, but you can clearly see that baseball wasn't his sports. But he had two parents that basically thought he was the next, the next. I guess you can say Barry Bonds. I don't know what they were seeing, but it was just like, okay, clearly this kid does not want to be there and doesn't want to play. Why did you waste your money signing this kid up to play this sport? Because you wanted him to play? Or did he come to you and say you wanted to play? It's a difference. You know, I didn't pick up baseball. I didn't pick up any sport till I was 11. And at that time, I went to my parents and said, I want to play baseball. They were actually shocked because I never really showed the athletic ability to even want to play a sport, let alone a sport as complex as baseball. Of course, I played baseball. I got into football the next year and absolutely loved it. Um, I would, continue on to play, but as time happens, we our paths lead us in the different directions, and it comes time to put the ball down and pick up real world issues. I didn't have a problem with it, you know, but then there's those select few kids that are able to um, overcome their odds and go on and play college football and also professional sports as well. You know, there's even people that I played baseball and football with that are currently in the league now. They're up in age, but um, they're currently in the league now. You know, and I don't feel any type of way. I'm not gonna sit here and tell my son to compete with this other kid because I feel like he's gonna eventually grow into this awesome athlete and go make millions of dollars. That's not my aspiration for him. My aspiration for him is to be a good person first. If he chooses athletics, I'm going to give him every tool that he can to succeed. If he comes to a point where he says he just doesn't want to do sports anymore, hey, that's fine too. I have no problem with that. Same thing for my daughters. If they don't want to play sports, I'm not going to force that on them. Because mothers, you guys are just as bad as us fathers are too when it comes to berating your children on the sports fields. It's a quite ugly scene. Um, Now I understand that when there's politics involved with sports, favoritism, things of that nature. Of course, you're gonna speak up. I would do the same thing. If you see that your kid is clearly better than this other kid, yeah, that kind of pissed me off too. In that instance, I would definitely speak up. But if your kid is one of those kids that just kind of half-ass go along about it, doesn't really want to be there, save everybody else some time. Get them out the sport. That doesn't make you a bad parent. That doesn't make you less than a man that your kid isn't like you, or less than a woman that your kid didn't possess the athletic tools that you had. It's not for everybody. And we got to stop thinking that because our kids get to a certain age, because we did something, they have to do the same thing. It's possible it's not their destiny. We've got to stop living our athletic dreams through our children. Be honest with yourself and your kids. Be realistic with yourself and your kids. Have a good night.